Good morning, Rotary.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, looks like we've got about 11 or 12 people here with a speaker. Brendan Dunnigan. We're going to also, it looks like we have about 5 or so people on Zoom, so pretty good turnout. We'd like to start out as we traditionally do with our invocation, and Harry Snyder has volunteered to do that.
Let me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this awesome opportunity to be together, start our day at Rotary. We thank you for the many blessings you provided us, and we ask that you continue to do so. Help us to serve others in a graceful and compassionate way. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Harry. Michael, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We got a lot to cover today, and we don't want to impinge on Brendan's time here for his talk about Republic Bank. So we'll get moving right away. First thing we'll talk about here are going to be wedding anniversaries, and wedding anniversaries for this past month were and will be. Nicole is July 24th, if I'm correct. Nicole, are you listening in? How many years is it?
It will be 10 on Saturday.
All right, very good. And the missing entity here, Mary Jane, the coffee lady, is not here, and her anniversary was yesterday. So we're hoping that Mary Jane's okay.
She is doing really well.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to her today.
I don't know.
She retired. Oh, she's still doing that work, isn't she? Oh, she's working for the Calumet County Treasurer. Yeah.
Okay, so she's gonna not be here regularly, or
Like 30 days.
oh, I see. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. All righty. So at any rate, we miss Mary Jane.
It's been like 20 good years out of the 52.
Right. Yeah, something like that. So at any rate.
She said he had 2 good years, but those were he had all the nations out of town. You guys want to say that?
Oh, man. Okay, so we'll see Mary Jane next time. Hopefully we'll have coffee and donuts next time. Sorry we don't have those here today. Most importantly, of course, it's birthday time. And we do have 2 birthday boys. Mike Essig, I don't see up here on Zoom today, but his is going to be on July 30th. And we have an actual birthday boy today. And that's our very own Tony Reese. So Tony, are you going to be able to sing to yourself? Is that okay? Or okay, we're going to have Mr. Rotary come up here. Lynn, would you mind coming up here, or actually at the mic? And oh, you okay? You come on up here if you like.
I am. That'll be good.
I'm going to do it.
It's a nice change of pace right here.
Thanks, buddy.
Tony Reeves, what a pleasure. What a great person you are, and what a great Rotarian.
Thank you.
And with that, so today is your birthday. That's what we've been told. What a wonderful birthday. You're 1 more year old. On a cake there'll be candles all lighted for you. And everyone is singing happy birthday to you. Way to go, buddy.
Thank you.
All right.
Lynn, you missed her calling. You're a real crooner, I have to say. Yeah. All right. Very good. Last but not least, we have Rotary anniversaries, which is important. Wayne Johnson, by the way, I don't know if you all know, but Wayne Johnson is recovering from, he had surgery for, I believe it's kidney cancer. And he's doing fine. I ran into him at the hardware store the other day. So, and he actually was in Czechoslovakia visiting, or Czech Republic, visiting the 2 exchange students that he and his wife, Mary, put up a number of years ago. Once for one visit for a wedding, and then he, is that Raqqa? Yeah, Raqqa, yeah. And then they met up with the other exchange student Marquetta. Okay, good. Good. I can't remember. I don't speak Czech, so I can't remember all these names, but okay. But at any rate, Wayne, we wish him well. He's recovering. I saw him at the hardware store the other day. We had a nice chat. And Michael Enriquez, 15 years this month for Rotary. So this year anniversary month. So, and Carol Amrine, who, as we all know, works for Golden Rule and is our very own caterer. We'll be using her more in the future during our socials. So congratulations to all of these folks. I just had a quick aside, just talking about the Union Township event, which a number of people have signed up to volunteer for. Mac and I were out there manning the tent, and Mike Essig's tent looked really nice. It really caught people's attention as they came in to go to the concert. Just a couple of highlights of that. The obvious reason for that is to get the brand out there. I think Mac and I were Mac, of course, knows the spiel about Rotary really well, so I just kind of followed his lead. But, you know, talking about 1.2 million members and how many clubs, but a lot of people, they have no clue. I mean, one guy said, what is it, a wheel? Or, what is it, what's going on with this, and so when we told them that it was a charity organization, that kind of disarmed them. They're like, boy, okay, that sounds interesting. And they were interested in talking to us about it. The long and short of it is, we had a little drawing out there for a $50 gift card that attracted people's attention. But what was really cool is we have potentially a new member who's going to be coming on August 3rd, a person who was very interested. He and I were talking there, and he had just recently retired. And we were talking about charity events, and he said, well, I like to help out. He worked for Cincinnati Financial, I believe. And he said, I worked over at the health clinic, helping people on the, greeting them for COVID and helping them get their shots and stuff. Well, I said, I did that too for Rotary, and so did Lisa Davis. And he kind of went, really? And I said, that's the type of stuff that we do. And he said, I'm interested in an organization like that. He lives right around the corner here. His name is Jeff Lynch. He's going to be coming on August 3rd. We have 7 other people that checked the box there that said they're interested in hearing about Rotary. So we're going to get in touch with them. I figure if we could get one member out of each of these 3 events, we've increased our membership by 10%. Okay. So who knows? But it was interesting. It was fun being out there with Mac. So Mac, because you were out there, and John is going to be out there, and Aaron is going to be with us next week. A few other people, Lynn, the week after that. So the people that put their names in for a drawing, we're going to draw right here. And then we're going to inform that one person afterwards who won the drawing. So line drawing here. And then
I'll make one person happy and
which others not. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Who is it?
Bob Henry.
Well, there you go. Do you remember him?
No.
Hopefully he has some contact info.
Robert Francis Henry.
Yeah. Okay, good. I appreciate that. What we're going to do, the winner is going to be invited to come to one of our Rotary meetings to pick up his prize. So we didn't just hand it out at the event. And that was Seth's idea. And Seth, we're going to put you on the spot. I thought it was a great idea. So we'll give Bob a call. And at any rate, that was the event out there, and it was very successful, relatively speaking. Okay, what I'd like to do right now is I'd like Tony to come up or get at the mic for just a couple of minutes, give us an update on the golf outing, if you'd like, Tony. Thank you.
Well, as everybody knows, the golf outing is coming up. We're definitely in crunch time. We're under 2 months. There's been a lot of people over the last month or so working behind the scenes to get this together, but now it's time to bring everybody into the fold. And as we've heard so much from Brandon over the years, this is definitely all hands on deck. So as everybody knows, the Rotary outing, we've gone back to the shotgun start, and the brochure is complete, and Aaron and Amanda Karleski have been good enough to take on the role of, as the registrations come in, maintaining contact with those people, letting them know what's going on, and then reaching out to the people that have registered in the past that haven't registered yet to try to get these foursomes. But the big thing is, and where we really need all hands on deck, is with the Rotary Golf Outing donations and the hole sponsors. The hole sponsors, as you all know, are the big money makers, $250 a pop. So Shane sent out a list, I believe, to everybody last week after our last golf outing meeting. Everybody should have that list of the past businesses or organizations that have donated whole sponsors and or raffle prizes. Those are the big things in the next 2 months that we need to collect. And what I'm asking our Rotarians to do, the people that may not be working on the committee, but are nonetheless still important to us, is the Rotary Golf Outing donations and whole sponsors. If you look on that spreadsheet that Shane sent out, if you see the name of a Rotarian next to those businesses that is no longer with us, Jennifer Fisher being a good example, Sheila Hinton, we really need somebody. I think Shane's got it as a TBD, to be determined, what Rotary member reaches out to those people. We really need somebody to pick up the ball and run with it next to those organizations, to make contact with them, find out if they're willing to do a whole sponsor, and or reach out to these businesses where we have a Rotarian that's no longer with us, and see if they can donate anything by way of a raffle prize. So in the next 2 months, that's what we really need. And as people let Shane or I know what company they're going to reach out to, I'll have Shane amend the spreadsheet. And if it gets down to, another couple of weeks and nobody's picking these up, I'll probably have to make some phone calls and say, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? So again, can't stress enough, all hands on deck. This is a lot of work. And many hands make few work. So little work. So that's what we really need to concentrate on in the next 2 months. Really anything. We just really want something to put in place. So if you look at that list, some of them are big things. Jeff Boggs really comes through for us, a TV or an appliance or something, but it doesn't have to be anything that great. Gift cards, I think, are great. It's a great thing to put somebody's in. So if you have a company or a business, BW3s or a restaurant, and gift cards are good. We won't hear anything like that. We just want something to put in everybody's hand. Yeah, I'll have Shane email it out to you, or I can do it. But it's pretty precise as to what has been given in the past by these different companies, and you certainly don't have to stick to the companies that are on the spreadsheet. If you know somebody or you're close to somebody that's got an organization that wants to give us something, new blood is always good to have for down the road. So anybody you can reach out to, we appreciate it.
Sam's going to give away his little brother.
Is the brochure actually out? I didn't see that.
Yes, it is. It is.
Has it been emailed out?
It has. It has. He emailed it out.
You did not get that.
Oh, he hasn't sent it to the members? Okay, and it needs to be amended for the main charity. Okay, good. Well, good that he didn't, because we need to amend it. Okay, because I have it. I've been sending it out. But go ahead.
And I think we also need a letter, unless I missed it, to give potential donors our IRS number. Yeah, I'll send it out. Okay. All right.
Okay. Tony, thank you very much. If we could update the list also, that I called the folks that Sheila and Jennifer had. This is really pretty easy to do. It really is. I sat on the phone for about an hour and a half yesterday. Every single person I called that had been participants in the past said, yeah, we're on board. Just send us a brochure. And, I have a neighbor across the street. He works for a real estate company. And I asked him and he said, yeah, just send me the brochure. If you just ask a neighbor, it's not a big deal. It really isn't. People are happy to help out because they know it's a charity thing. So I was surprised. Just went down the list and people said, yeah, we're in again. No problem. So I'm sorry. What do you mean?
Are they required to be brand new items?
Well, I'm sorry. Okay.
I would say generally, yes, all the new items.
Especially, something that's in really good condition, maybe. Just curious.
Yeah.
You got something in mind, we'll probably not.
Yeah.
We'll find it.
Yeah.
Coffee grinder or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, we got a neighbor.
Okay, good. Anything else on the golf outing at all?
The brochures, a lot of these people probably require that, say, hey, send us something so we have something we reference. So we can finish that up.
Yeah, we just need to update the one thing about the major charity. That's basically it. But okay, I'd like to move on because I see Brendan sitting back there, and we do have a few more things to cover here. we do have Happy Bucks, and what I'd like to do today for Happy Bucks, we're going to do a little Jeopardy thing, okay? Normally we have a joke. I'm actually going to task people. I'll just kind of email you and ask somebody to do Happy Bucks in the future, and we'll have you do it at the appropriate meeting. But what I'd like to do today is we're going to do a little what thing, okay? So if you might recall, we have something at Batavia Rotary that we're using in our emails now. And if we we're going to look at a picture up here. And back in the old days, Mesopotamia, the British, they had this piece of wood that was up in front of their carriage or their chariot, okay? And anybody see what that word says up there? It kept the mud from flying in their face. It's called a dashboard, okay? And when I was flying at Delta in the cockpit, we had a dashboard also, but we called it an instrument panel. And so the next picture, it kept the mud off the ship when it was flying down the runway. That's right. So next picture, next slide here. We were talking about automobiles. And so there's a nice dashboard for a BMW there. All right. So we all know what a dashboard is, okay? Well, how about the dashboard that we have at Batavia Rotary? Does everybody know where to find that on the website, on their emails? Brandon, can you bring that up? Anybody know where that is to be found? On what email?
Rotary Minute.
Nicole Henderson, right? Okay, John's, and we've got the Rotary Minute here, right? This is our club dashboard, okay? These are the links here. All you have to do is go back to a previous meeting, and it doesn't matter because it's time sensitive. This thing updates, okay? These are active links. This is our dashboard, okay? So what I'd like to just mention right now, we're going to do a what, where, and when type of thing, okay? So we know that this year, we're going to be having meetings on the 5th Tuesdays of the year, okay? That's every quarter. And so in August, we're going to have a Service Tuesday, all right? And that's going to be on, I won't tell you, but I'm going to ask John, do you know what, where, and when, Jeopardy question, our first Service Tuesday event's going to be?
It's the Empower Youth Amelia, and it's on the 5th Tuesday, which is the 31st.
Okay, does everybody see that on the calendar? All you do is click on calendar here, okay? And Brandon has made a really nice thing here. If you see this Rotary meeting Empower Youth, guess what? It's not going to be here. It's going to be in Amelia at that address, okay? And that's where we're going to meet. We're going to put together boxes of food for underprivileged kids. What I'd like you to put in your memory bank right now is in November, that's our next quarter, we're going to have another Service Tuesday. That's going to be, I think, on the 30th of November. I'd like you to be thinking about a charity that you think we should support, either here or at their location. Okay, that'll be your task going forward. Okay, so now that has to do with service. Now, if we talk about socials here, we have a social coming up in August. And I think Michael Enriquez is going to tell us about the what, where, and when of that.
Well, the what is the Harmony Hill Winery. We're going to have our social event with live music there. Where at the Vineyard at Harmony Hill in Bethel.
Right.
And that is on Saturday, August 21st, from 5:30 in the afternoon, so 9 p.m. on that evening.
Thank you, sir. Well, these guys have got the facts right at their tip. But look, we've got it right there on the dashboard, okay? The other nice thing, I don't know if Brandon can pull it up real quick, there's also links to sign up for these events, just like there was for Pass the Gavel, okay? It's all on the dashboard. So if we get down to the calendar, even if you can go and you can find that link. Now, what I'm going to do is that is possibly going to be catered. I'd like to get maybe thumbs up from people that are on Zoom and folks in the audience right now. Could I get a show of hands of folks that on their calendar, if they looked at it now or maybe later, the 21st, at the Saturday, who thinks they would be at this event? If you could raise your hands. So we just get an idea. Okay. All right. So about half the room here right now. And if we get thumbs up for folks there on Zoom, that'd be great. But here's the link. This is really nice. Lisa brought this. She made a sign up genius for us. And it's really easy to go on there and RSVP for these type of events. Okay. And we have several other socials that we're going to have. So that's our little Jeopardy thing there. What I'd like to do right now is we'll do our happy. Who is happy today? I see here he's got a dollar bill burning in his hand.
Yeah, you can go to the mic when you're happy, that would be great.
My daughter's Emma's got a co-op job down in Greenville, South Carolina. So we went down Friday and Saturday and found her a place to live. It starts August through December. This is her last co-op. So we're almost done with our last child in college. So all I have left is $1.
Well, we're just happy. Happy to see everybody. Let's get everybody into Rotary.
I'm very happy. I'll mention something about myself, though. That made me very happy this last week. I went to Ellis Island in New York Harbor and was able to see my name on the Wall of Honor. I came in as a 2-year-old infant with my parents, and they just redid the whole wall, and it was just wonderful to see my name on there, etched there with Igor Cubic family, and then myself individually. So that was a very, very happy moment, and be able to show it to my grandkids, and be able to spend the day at Ellis Island and Statue of Liberty.
He was pushing too.
Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Happy to be back.
Wow. Don't ask for change. All right. So I think we're just about down our agenda here. Everybody knows what a dashboard is now, right? Everybody knows where to find it. I think Brandon did such a great job putting that together. Really appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, and so what we'd like to do right now, and then we'll get Brendan up here. I promise, Brendan, we're not going to kick you out of here without hearing you speak. What I'd like to do is just talk about, just real quick, about the foundation, what we do at Rotary, the 7, Mac, what do we call them? What are those 7 things that the emphasis items or areas of focus, right? Okay, good. And so we're going to have a Rotary Minute, hopefully every meeting going forward. And they have some really nice clips on here. I think this is a very well done one here. And this talks about supporting local economies. So we'll just listen to this real quick.
A single act of good can go a long way. It can cross oceans and foster opportunity. As members of Rotary, we are people of action, and our actions have the power to speak loud and clear. We choose to see the world for what it could be. Through our commitment to advancing economic and community development around the world, we've seen its boundless potential firsthand. Thanks to Rotarians like you, we've seen the number of people living in poverty worldwide drop by more than 50% in the last 20 years. Our efforts are fostering entrepreneurship and economic self-sufficiency to create lasting change. We're altering outlooks and feeding communities in need and giving families a viable path out of poverty. With vocational training, mentorship, and access to well-paying jobs. We believe that effective humanitarian organizations operate at the intersection of commerce and cause, allowing us to channel community and worldwide resources that open new doors. Today, we invite you to see what's possible. Every gift is an action that speaks volumes. When we take action, we change the world. Learn how you can support the cause that means the most to you.
So as you know, most of our, 95% of what we do is local, which is great. But we do have the opportunity to team up with other clubs like Dayton, Cincinnati. They do international projects. We have done international projects before in this club, but there are those opportunities to do, those are basically overseas type of projects. So through the foundation, the money that we give to them, we really have an opportunity to make a big impact in the world. So I think that's a really good thing to see. Okay, without further ado, Brendan Dunnigan has come to talk to us today. I think most of us like to hear business people tell us about what they're, and he's a local guy. He grew up in Milford, lives in Anderson right now. And I met Brendan through Brandon because Brandon said, hey, Alan, hey, tomorrow, this guy, Brendan, is going to come talk to us at the club, and he's interested in maybe becoming a member, and he's going to play in the golf outing. I'm not putting him on the spot here at all. And and he said, Brendan has got this event out at Blue Ash where you can go hit golf balls. And I'm just like, I'm in. So I was out there, and it was great. That's where I met Brendan. He's got his own bio. I'm not going to steal any of the show from him. I'm going to bring him up here. He's going to tell us his story, and we appreciate you coming, Brendan.
It looks so good. Well, go back. You gave me. All right. You blacked out my top bar. It's the most important one. Hey, there, see the top one. Very, very important. I specialize this just for this group. So first of all, let me say thank you to everyone for having me here today. It's a hot group. I mean, I think we met in January or February or something. And it's like, yeah, first available time, July, to be able to come speak. So, absolutely a delight and pleasure to be here. So Alan, thank you for the wonderful introduction. I will tell you the very first thing I think I might have said to Brandon was, I am not interested in becoming a member of the Rotary group. I said, let it be clear, 7:30 a.m. Weekly to bi-weekly meetings are not my forte. 3 young children. I think I went to bed 2 hours earlier than I normally do last night, which is like the exact same time as I put my kids to bed in order to be prepared for this and actually have my eyes a little open. What I did say though is, and why I was very interested in coming and speaking and getting to know more and becoming involved was, I do have time, outside of, a very committed regimen schedule to be able to serve. And I was very interested in doing so. I connected with Brandon, and he put me in connection with Seth and with Alan, and I spoke about wanting to be able to use some of the bank's resources and funds to be able to sponsor things like the golf outing coming up, which I have gotten your email. I am going to do something. So I just, officially working out all those details. September apparently is the golf outing month, because I think I've got this is 3 or 4, and I'm just trying to figure out how I'm supposed to work any other day that month. But I do have a donation gift I'm trying to work out for the raffle involving Swing Fit. So doing like a foursome group lesson to give away, raffle off. So probably like $200-300 value, something like that. Anyway, so without further ado, Republic Bank presentation for the Batavia Rotary Group Club by myself. Next slide. It was supposed to be a joke where I said next slide and I was doing it myself, but now I do need Brandon, I guess. So thanks. All right, so first and foremost, a little bit about myself. I think that's primarily when I was speaking with everybody here. I joined the Claremont County Chamber earlier this year, and they're the ones who put me in touch with Brandon in the first place. I was a Milford High School graduate. I moved to Milford, I think, in 1998. I grew up in South Carolina, but I've been an East Sider of Cincinnati essentially ever since I moved here. I was in DECA through Milford and have judged many events. I did it virtually this last year via YouTube presentations. That was a very interesting way to watch some high schoolers give a professional presentation from their living room and such. But it, all of us had to pivot. So it was an educational experience for myself. I've been in Cincinnati working. I worked for US Bank for probably a little over 14 years. I worked in Milford for 10 years, out in Mount Orab for 2.5 to 3 years. And then when I went to business banking, they moved me down to Covington, and I was covering the west side of Cincinnati for a while. I've been with Republic Bank now for just over 2 years, or just right at 2 years essentially. And they said, hey, we don't have boundaries. We're not going to assign you to a specific location. Where you want to go do business, go do it. We'll give you, the money and power and backing to do that. So I said, hey, my roots are on the east side. I want to be involved on the east side. So first thing I did, well, COVID kind of put all that to the side for a little bit, but first thing I did this year is when we had budget and everything else opening up, is I joined the Claremont County Chamber, and I said, hey, I want to get more involved in groups on the east side. We have several business customers on this side, one of which I didn't want to put in my presentation, but is Elks Run golf course, so one you all are intimately familiar with. So happy to be over here. My family and I live over here. I married an East Side girl. She is Guardian Angels McNick grad. Her and her extensive family. We have 3 kids, all going to Summit in the Forest Hill School District. So I had a quick joke about my wife living in Anderson. I, grew up in South Carolina, moved to Milford, moved downtown, moved all around Cincinnati, Mason, Batavia, etc. When we got together, moved to Anderson to be with her. We were looking to buy a house after our second kid. And I said, where do you want to move? She's like, I want to move far away from my mom. I don't want to, I said, I don't want to live right down the road from her anymore. I was like, all right, that's great. What about, Fields Erdel, Blue Ash is a nice area. What do you think about that? She's like, wow, that's too far. That's too far. I said, okay, well, I guess I like Loveland. I grew up in Milford. Loveland's really nice, but I guess we could go in Milford. Houses were still reasonable 5 years ago. Oh yeah. And she was like, no, I think that's still, I was like, so where do you want to move? Like Batavia, Mount Carmel? Like, what are we talking about? She was like, I was thinking like over on 8 Mile. So, and I was like, oh, far away. You mean just the opposite side of Anderson. So, that's when I realized I was never leaving. And, it's been a great ride so far. School district's great. And I'm happy to be here on the east side still. So let's see if this works yet. Awesome. Okay. So Republic Bank. Public bank, family-owned bank. We're founded in Louisville, a publicly traded company. The bank was purchased by the Traeger family in the 70s, but became Republic Bank officially in 1982. They went public, decided that they wanted their success to be part of the Louisville community, and a bigger thing that as they grew, they wanted to be able to have others grow with them. So they went public. We're currently roughly about $6 billion in assets. So we still function as a community bank, being under that 10 billion mark. But I would say we have the mentality of a regional bank. Coming from a super regional or national bank, I really do feel that we have the technology provided to our customers and lending capabilities, balance sheet to really be able to perform on the same level as Fifth Third, Regions, PNC, any bank of that size, where we still though are committed to the community and the people that we've built our business around. So, we have first-class technology. We have, from a community focus, a local decision manager. My direct, I guess, boss or who I report to is the market president, who reports to the president of the bank. So there's, two-way communication pretty easily to get things done. My market president has direct lending authority up to $1.5 million. So we have the ability, as opposed to a lot of these other, regional banks, to actually make decisions for small businesses and consumers locally. So we still take it through the traditional channels, but if it's something that we want to do, my market president can come and approve it himself up to $1.5 million. So it gives us a lot of flexibility and, you know, decision-making authority. So, you know, Republic Bank from the top down is all about making an impact, which I've asterisked here so that we can get into our marketing slogan motto, essentially. There's no person that I've heard that's committed this to memory better than the CEO themselves. Every meeting, presentation, every single report that I've read, he brings this up. I mean, so this is through and through the bank's motto. So they're focused on innovation, making it easy for both the clients, the community, and for our employees, providing exceptional service, which has become even more so a focus and since 2020 and everything that happened, acknowledging and celebrating success. And that goes beyond just our employees, but with our customers and nonprofits and those that we work with outside of the bank, committing to caring and thriving together. So all of these go both for our employees, our customers, and our communities. And so they're saying at all times, we want to go out, we need to make an impact. So, you know, part of why I'm here and wanting to talk about how we can help do that in this community, especially with a group like Rotary, you know, going through products like our nonprofit checking. This is, I mean, I cut and paste this officially from a flyer brochure. You wouldn't have been able to read it very easily if I just throw that whole thing on there, but thought it made it look pretty good. So, you know, almost all of our services are going to be free. You know, most nonprofits just getting started up can fit into an easy free checking with us, our free small business checking, but we offer substantially better services for nonprofits that have been established for a while, or, you know, have employees, are running strong businesses and supporting the community. You know, $10,000 or more monthly balance, there's not going to be any monthly fee. We have free online banking, which allows you to do free bill pay. You can put in all of your vendors, send checks, ACHs to these vendors with no service charges at all. We offer free remote deposit scanners to these businesses as well. So if you decide you want to take a picture with your phone and do mobile deposit that way, or we provide the deposit scanner so that you can accept checks, scan them right in and not have to worry about going to a bank or finding a Republic Bank anywhere. Those funds are made immediately available. We also have courier services that we offer to nonprofits. So we try to make it easy, try to make it as functional as possible to the nonprofits so that they don't have to worry about going to the bank. They can just focus on helping out how they do best, and the banking just runs itself essentially for them. So I also put on there, it said we offer merchant services. So we've partnered externally with a group called APS, or Advanced Payment Solutions. They're our preferred merchant provider. They offer substantial services beyond just credit card acceptance. They help build out websites. We've had several nonprofits we've worked with where we've built out a website for them, made it so that on the website they can accept credit cards, they can accept payments, they can accept electronic checks, they can do monthly recurring payments and donations. They have the ability also, is newly passed law called cash discounting, which has been big for nonprofits and small business vendors that we work with as well. I'm sure most of you are aware, or if you're not though, when you use a rewards credit card or credit card of any type, the vendor that accepts that payment has to pay basically a charge in order to accept your payment. And why some for a long time didn't accept credit cards, because it's costing them some of their margin and net profit. Now, obviously, it's so widely accepted. I don't remember the last time I went to a business that actually said they were cash only, even though it feels like I had, but it's probably been years since I have officially seen that. But that's not changed. If anything, it's just gotten to a point where vendors have accepted paying those fees. nonprofits and smaller businesses, it makes it substantially harder for them to be able to grow their business when they have to worry about all those types of costs. So there's a new service that's called cash discounting, where just like on a tax line or anything else on your receipt that you get, when you pay for a bill, it would say cash discount, in parentheses, show a dollar amount. Basically, what that dollar amount is going to be is the fee that the vendor has to pay in order to accept that transaction. And they just add it to the total. So the person who's making the donation, who's making the purchase, et cetera, is basically just paying their own fee. When people have been asking questions about, hey, what is this cash discount? The answer that all the vendors and nonprofits are saying now is, well, if you pay in cash, you get that waived. You basically get a discount from us to pay in cash, or essentially it's just like a processing fee to be able to accept this card. And this is essentially going to be the way of the future, especially with these cash rewards cards. And as people consider bumping up 2, 3, 4% back, the rates that vendors are going to have to pay are just going to continue to go up. Is this the only way that Visa, MasterCard, American Express is going to be able to continue to pay those higher interest rates? So conversations like this, we try to have. A lot of people aren't aware of these services, but it just goes beyond us saying, hey, we can do credit card processing. We actually go into a deep dive and say, we have substantially deeper products, outside service vendors that offer more than just credit card acceptance, so that we can try to help your business. Next slide, Brendan. No, oh, there we go. Yes, he still messed it up. All right, so beyond the nonprofit part, we still do like to make money as a bank. We are publicly traded. So, just a quick highlight of some of the focuses that we have, products and services that I would say, offer at very competitively, we overperform on, and I would say are specialists of. Every bank kind of has their niche, but our bank was founded as basically just a mortgage and savings bank. We did over $1 billion in residential mortgages last year. We offer mortgage in 38 different states. We're a mortgage warehouse lender. So some smaller credit unions here locally that say that they're writing mortgages for you, you get a credit union mortgage, things like that. We actually warehouse those mortgages and sell them to credit unions or private brokerages so that they write mortgages on us, and then they can bundle and sell them off for the processing fee, which has given us the ability to service our customers in multiple states, vacation homes, things like that. We're also, though, a big commercial mortgage lender. So small businesses, larger commercial businesses, you got a mortgage on the building, like Sporty's here. If they own this and have a mortgage note, we're very big in securing these assets, offering competitive rate, simple service, and making it very easy for them to be able to manage the rest of their business and not have to worry about their mortgage always renewing and having to balloon or refinance anything like that. Home equity loans, commercial real estate development, construction lending. We're extremely competitive in the construction department. You'll probably see my name pop up on some signs here soon, because we've got a lot of stuff in the hopper right now, doing some ground up construction, bringing some retail business and some manufacturing business here locally. Fortunately, because of the costs and COVID, things have gotten delayed, but we'll be excited to have a Finance by Republic Bank sign out here on the east side here soon. And investment real estate. So if you have passive vacation homes, if you've got, a multifamily apartment complex out here, we are very competitive in that space as well. So on real estate, we'll probably be interested and want to do it. We love that. So small business focus, SBA, we have been one of the top 504 HCDC lenders so far this year. I believe we've had close to $20 million of deals go through the SBA this year alone on 504 real estate. We do everything on small business, we have equipment lending and leasing, treasury management, so ACH, wire transfers, payroll. I mean, you think of it, we can do that. Business checking and savings, we offer small business lines of credit, business credit cards, and we are an approved certified SBA portfolio lender from a 7A standpoint, which means that we can write a loan for the SBA and hold and manage it without having to go to San Diego officially to get approval. So we can turn those things quicker and offer preferred rates internally versus going through SBA brokerage. So we compete very well against Huntington or any of the other big banks from that perspective, even though we are a community bank. So we offer, again, those big bank services and assets. So that's Republic Bank in a nutshell. I could bore you for probably an hour or more, but they said 20 minutes, Brendan. So, you know, I know that banking in general is a commodity. Coming from US Bank for 14 years, I can tell you that the service that we provide and our customer focus, and we have a people problem. I say we care more about people and taking care of them than any other institution I've worked for. And it's the cheesiest thing, but I find myself saying it really all the time. But our slogan is it's just easier here. And I have found that we do everything that we can to make it as easy as possible for our clients. We communicate quick, and you know, we decision things even quicker. So it's been a great pleasure for me to work for a bank that cares about people and making a difference, making an impact. I need to find myself saying that more since our CEO likes that so much. But realistically, I'm a guy here on the east side. I'm trying to help out where I can, spend my time as wisely as possible, giving back. But, you know, simultaneously trying to pay for my kids' education. I got 3, we're east side, so. All right, questions. I heard I needed to answer some, so. Yes, sir. Mac, maybe? All right.
Sounds like you're part of a very competitive market out there, and everywhere I look, I see bank going up, I see credit unions going up, and can you talk a little bit about the competitive market, how these different entities are going to make it out there in the world?
Yeah. So we're actually privileged to, and again, you know, this is a communication thing, top down, which I think most banks specifically, and probably most institutions have an issue with, is having senior leadership communicate clearly to the bottom. And so quarterly we have what's called an in-bank meeting, and one of the 4 highest employees of our bank does a presentation to our direct market. So last night we actually had our second quarter review, and the president presented, you know, first quarter results and, you know, our quarter to date results for our market versus the bank and everything else. And we have the ability to ask them any questions we want. One of them was this, is, you know, hey, are we going to continue to grow our market? Are we going to continue to expand our footprint? One thing I did not state before is for the relative size of Republic Bank in general, we operate out of Tampa, St. Pete, Nashville, Tennessee. We're the 3rd largest bank in Louisville. We're in Lexington, and then here in Cincinnati. So we have, you know, a long 71 driven business, as I like to joke. We only like markets on 71, but you know, they've all been great businesses for us. We only have as a bank 1,100 employees versus, and I continue to use US Bank as I don't have anything against them. I just know their numbers intimately. So you could say versus Fifth Third or US Bank, but I know specifically US Bank has 3,600 employees in Cincinnati alone. So, you know, I used to laugh so hard when somebody said, do you know this person? When I said I worked at US Bank, and do you know that person? I'm like, that would be like I mean, no, I don't know them. I'd have no idea what they do. But if you ask me that about Republic Bank, I know almost everybody in our whole bank. I mean, unless they're an extreme back office person. Regarding the growth and competitive market, it's becoming more competitive because of the economic market in general. Rate compression has gotten so thin that a lot of these smaller banks are selling because they aren't making any money on deposits anymore, and it's hard for them to be competitive in the loan market. And with the fintech companies coming, you know, our president specifically said, you know, we're not going to be looking to grow into any other markets. We'll probably double down on the markets we are, because we still have a lot of market share to grow. Some of these other big banks like BB&T and SunTrust are merging to be able to become more competitive, because they, you know, one bank might do one thing that's better than another, and you'll find probably a lot of other banks might look to buy other services, like buy into a fintech company, buy an insurance company, maybe buy a telecommunications company, you know, to try to find other ways to make revenue, because banking as a service is what's becoming the most important thing, as opposed to, you know, the way of the teller per se is kind of dying out. Is 90% of the things you would go into the bank for, you can now do at the ATM or from your phone. So it's going to be more of the service driven model, where most people are willing to pay for great advice, great service. They don't want to pay for something they could do on their own very easily. The competition is going to go to who you know and how much they can do for you realistically. And I'd say the ones that unfortunately don't have the ability, I guess, to empower those people, or they still keep this monarchy system where, you know, it has to take 8 approvals, are probably going to find themselves scrambling a lot more. So, you know, I think that there's going to be some consolidation in the marketplace in regards to competitors. You see these new ones coming up. Unfortunately, they're not really new. They're ones that are from out of the market that are buying banks locally, and they're changing the name so that they can grow into the market. This acquisition is really the only way for most people to be able to go into a market anymore, because it's become so saturated with technology and everything else. People aren't actively looking to go to banks. Most of the time, it's just you pass them and you see them, or they get lucky with people like me that are willing to go out and talk to people about us already being here. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, that was good perspective.
Aren't any other I hope you're a coffee drinker, because
I love some coffee.
there you go. I wish we had some coffee here, but at least we had something to put it into. Okay.
Oh, that's so
Nice
awesome.
Rotary mug. Yeah. Okay. So.
I know. Yeah.
You still have the rest of it.
With that, you're halfway in.
Yeah. Well, I didn't need cards. The other thing, you know, beyond the service part, hopefully these are all on. I put myself in on all these. I refund tax. I was texting with the client that was referred to me at 6 o'clock this morning. Luckily, I was up this time. But the weekend, I'm always available 24/7. I'll respond when I can, obviously. But I tell people, just text me or call me on my mobile, which is the M on here. Somebody said recently, "What's the M stand for?" And I was like,
the mobile.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Brendan, if I could ask you, would you mind drawing a card here?
Oh,
We're gonna
no.
not let you get away with that.
This is where you get the hate.
Yeah. See if we got a lucky winner here from the split the pot. Oh, he's gonna shuffle.
Is this your card?
Oh, there we go.
What is it? Who's paid? Not me.
Oh my gosh! All right, Big John. Great. I like that. That's a good way to do that. Exactly. That's for sure.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, folks, that concludes our meeting. And actually, we were going to sing. We'll do that next time. We'll finish the meeting with the four-way test. We turn around, we'll do that. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First is the truth. Second is fair to all concerned. Third will build goodwill and friendships. Fourth will be beneficial to all concerned.